It's an ambush.
Oh my God, it's an ambush!
It's an ambush!
Of course!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to an ambush stream. I'm being very inclusive today, in honor of looking at Bridge again. You may notice some changes to my avatar, because this is what Grok on X, thinks of me. So I thought I would, sort of spice things up a bit, give in to the DEI impulses of the world. So let me know what you think of the more inclusive Scribelight. Otherwise, so good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Got inspired just for the heck of it. I got a little time to kill. So we have a time limit on this stream, however, because I have just put my lunch in the oven. It's on a timer, about 45 minutes, so I can't go much longer than that unless I get really into it. So as soon as I hear that beeping go off in the background, we're going to have to wrap things up. So that's as long as I've got. Derek LaRue, holy cats. Thank you so much, Derek. Wow, it's very generous of you as always. Thank you for your continued support and generosity. Very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the show. Kiro Soldier, thank you so much for the how's it going, Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox. And speaking of Dogcat Fox, if I get my little thing set up here, how about this?
Wowie, wow.
There we go. It's a P-Dog Night Dogcat Fox. But yeah, so since I have a time limit, I'm going to jump right into this. And so apologies for those of you who are here that I usually say hello to everybody, but I want to make sure I get as much into this as I can. Yes, we have a podcast from about, a handful of months ago, I think it was, called the Inclusive AF Podcast. And it features the CEO and president of Bridge. You remember Bridge, don't you? I hope you do. Because if you don't, well, let me tell you, Bridge is the attempt. It's still questionable as to the success of the attempt of rebranding DEI into a new sort of network of marketing executives and corporate type people from all across the panoply of woke and DEI companies. Its CEO is Cheryl Daiha, or Daija. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Maybe our hosts here will do it correctly for me. But she did an interview a couple of months back, and since I hadn't actually looked at Bridge in quite a while, I thought, hey, what the heck? Let's get an update, such as it is. Also, if you did not know, I am currently, as far as I know, and I can't check right now because it's all just seat of the pants kind of stuff, I'm also currently duo streaming on X. So if for some reason you really want to watch me on X, or it's more convenient for you to do so, purportedly, I'm also streaming there right now. So anyway, with all that being said, this podcast goes on for just under an hour. I'm going to go for as long as it takes until the timer goes off on my lunch, and we'll see what we get. If there's some overriding reason why I should do a part 2 or continue this at some other point, we'll see. But this is just for fun, informational purposes. Where's Bridge at this point? Their yearly get-together is coming up in May, I think, of this coming year. I still haven't found any videos for their 2024 event. I have a feeling they're keeping those unavailable to the public for some reason. I wish I could find them. But anyway, let's see what they have to say.
And Katie Van Horn.
All right, Jackie, hello.
Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for saying my name, Katie. See, that we're just getting it all spicy. We're changing it all up.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying my name. I've never seen this show before or listened to it, so is it a rarity that you say the name of your co-host? Also, Katie Van Horn is a she, her, while Cheryl Daiha is a she, her, hers, in case you were curious.
Yeah, mixing it all up over here. And thank you for saying my name. So
say my name, say my name.
This is the Inclusive AF podcast, and it is a beautiful cloudy Wednesday in Arizona. How's Texas?
I'm just glad you're there. I'm glad you're home. Welcome home.
Yeah.
Wow. I always wonder, I listen to other people's podcasts, and I think some of the opening stuff is kind of coffee talk, kind of bleh. And I think to myself, if I listen back to some of my old podcasts on like Lords of the Night or elsewise, would it sound pretty cringe too? I don't know.
Katie was stuck in the airport this weekend, and I was really nervous. We
God.
are besties, so we share a location, and
Oh, are you besties? Oh my God.
I just kept saying, "Oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh.
she is still at the freaking Philly airport." I was like, "Are you
Yeah.
ever leaving?"
No. I was in a lounge though, and so there were a couple other folks that were sitting in that lounge for a very long time as well. So I got to
This is very exciting stuff. I don't know when the interview begins. Maybe I should jump ahead.
see some very entertaining things. So if nothing else, it was a very entertaining weekend. A lot of people watching going on. So Jackie, I'm also glad to be home. So for those of you who do not follow Jackie on the socials,
And I don't.
I just want you to know that my friend Jackie is kind of a badass. She is
If you say so.
a true runner now.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
running today,
A runner.
trying to get some money together for ALS research. So
I can't protest against that. So good on Jackie.
we will put a link in the show notes. So if you are interested in donating to Jackie, we'll let you do that and would ask for any donations there.
I'd rather donate to an ALS charity or research fund, but okay.
So yeah, you're a runner.
I know. I'm like dropping up groups. I'm joining running groups. I'm like drinking water with lemon in it. I'm being all cute and stuff.
Uh-huh. Well, already, if I were running this show, I'd cut the chit chat. I would have had the chit chat before and get right into introducing the guest, the person taking time out of their day to be part of your podcast for the sake of conversation and also, I guess, marketing after a fashion. But okay, you guys do you.
It's happening. It's real.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's just jump right in. So we have a phenomenal guest today. I want to turn it over to her so she can introduce herself, and then we will have some conversations all about Cheryl. So Cheryl, would love for you to introduce yourself to our guests.
Why don't you introduce her? Because you've done some kind of research ahead of time to say this is Cheryl Daya. She is the CEO and founder of Bridge. And she's also this and this and this and this and that and the other and so on and so forth. That's what I would do if it were me. But this isn't my podcast.
Oh, you're nice. Well, I appreciate Katie and Jackie. Thank you for having me. My name is Cheryl Deja.
Deja. Okay, so like deja vu. All right, Cheryl Deja. I wasn't sure if it was Daiha or Deja or Deja. Okay, Deja. Cheryl Deja. I'll try to remember that.
am the founder and CEO of Bridge. Bridge is the first independent DE&I trade group for the global marketing industry.
Yes, it is. I really hope we learn something more about the Inclusion Index. And for those of you that don't know, the Inclusion Index is kind of a measuring stick by which companies can see how inclusive they are and thus how, virtuous ultimately they are. How this Inclusion Index works is still a little bit of a mystery to me, even though I read through it in a previous stream on Bridge. And I will be adding this to the playlist for Bridge after it's completed. But yes, a trade group. It's a amalgamation of marketing executives all focused on DEI.
And I guess our mission is to help companies operationalize inclusion as a business practice for growth.
It's a consulting firm. Let's not pretend it's just a glorified title for another DEI consulting firm that kind of uncenters the diversity element of it, because that's become effectively a toxic term in corporate America and for legal purposes and also PR purposes. So we focus on inclusion while still promoting the same DEI elements. We can, fly under the radar or something.
So that's who I am.
Awesome. Very cool. So when you think about kind of the typical client that you're working with, what are they looking for? What do you do for them?
Yeah, so we are, as an industry trade group, we have the kind of unique opportunity to actually bring the entire industry together. So we are a membership-driven organization, so we're not necessarily an agency with clients.
Right. You're just bringing together the DEI executives, marketing executives from multiple companies, right?
But rather an industry group that kind of coalesces and brings together members. So our members are, and if you if you look at the Bridge board, they're the companies and the individuals are comprised of Fortune 500 companies, agencies, media platforms, and then obviously, we have a number of different a number of different brands.
Yeah, no, the Bridge board and members. Let me bring up the list here real quick, just as a sample. So on the leadership board of Bridge, you have executives from Nielsen, MilkPep, Gap, Sonos, the Weather Company, Direct Digital, Superset, Sephora, Discover Card, NBC Universal, Gum Gum, iHeartMedia, Channel Factory, Michelin, H&M, Amazon Web Services, McKinsey & Company, big surprise there, the Ad Council, Campbell's Soup, Media Brands, Indeed.com, etc. We're not talking small time here. This has got some major companies involved in it. So don't discount Bridge as some kind of fringe, ignorable kind of thing. This is a networking hub for a lot of major companies.
And then specifically in terms of the individuals, we have a combination of chief diversity officers or chief D&I officers, CMOs, chief marketing officers, and then CEOs. So we fundamentally believe that the change needs to happen at the intersection of DE&I and business. We're very focused on inclusion, for business growth. Obviously, there's a moral imperative to it all, but
yes, a moral imperative, the morality of assessing people on the basis of their skin color, their gender, their orientation, and so on. Yes, it's very moral, everyone.
Our, kind of focus is on the business imperative. And so we help companies with basically developing best practices for being able to operationalize inclusion.
Operationalize inclusion. How?
We have a tool that allows companies to actually measure their inclusion maturity across their organization. So we're focused both on the workplace and on the marketplace because, obviously D&I has had a big focus is on talent and what your organization kind of comprises and looks like.
Yeah, see, and then in that short statement really shows the failing of the whole DEI philosophy. She mentions talent, right? Which, we reasonably could be said something that somebody possesses as a skill or a merit. But then she immediately mentions what they look like, because it's all about appearances at the end of the day. It's about the aesthetic. It's about being able to look at the makeup of your workforce. If you took a photograph of it and say, aha, look how diverse we are. Look how monochrome we are. Thank you. This is Kyle. So is this stream a Disney remake, or did you just get a new profile picture? Hope you're having a good day, Sam. Well, no, see, this is what the AI program on X says I look like. I put a prompt into Grok, the AI chat tool, whatever you want to call it. And I said, draw me a picture of Scribelight, who operates the @scribe_light account on Twitter. And this is what came out. As I said, based on the avatar. So Grok decided that based on my avatar and my putting in that instruction, this is what I look like. And given that this is a stream about Bridge, which is all about inclusion and diversity and so on, I thought it was only appropriate that at least for this stream, I align myself with a DEI philosophy and express my intention and my desire to be inclusive and diverse. So this is where we are. I don't know how often I'll end up using this avatar, but for this stream in particular, I thought it was appropriate. So there you go. Anyway, Cheryl was saying what?
We fundamentally believe that DE&I and inclusion in the marketplace is as essential. So how are you, developing your products? How are you showing up in the marketplace, etc.?
Developing products, showing up in the marketplace, right? Exactly. Tell me again about how your workforce looks again, because at whatever point in your hiring or promotion pipeline, you're setting up a racial test or a gender test or an orientation test of some kind. That's the point at which, at least in America, you're violating federal law. But go on.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question. Our listeners know that I'm always talking about there's a difference when you're looking at it from a business imperative or you're looking at it inside of an organization.
I would love to know the business case for DEI at this point. Setting aside the prophetic and idealistic survey that McKinsey put out in 2015, what is the actual business case for DEI in 2024 going into 2025? I said this on a TED Excellence stream not too long ago. They keep coming up with like surveys and statistics and things. Why can't a company be named as a success story for DEI? Right? Company X, whatever it is, was at this level of revenue in 2018. And then they introduced a DEI initiative. And then by 2022, their profits had risen 300%. Oh my gosh. And they can directly tie it to their DEI initiative. I never hear of a success story coming from an actual company. I always just hear that a survey or a study from some completely biased think tank says it is so. So I would love to hear a success story where they can say that DEI actually increased the success of a company.
Versus if you're doing something outside, because everybody's community and pieces are different. And I feel like there has been evidence, especially lately, that there's so much confusion as to what inclusion means. And I did do some research and I was looking back at your Harvard Business Review and talking about product and Mattel, and it kind of touched me. And I was wondering if you could share a little bit more about like the real impact. This isn't, even though, there's a moral side, there's the other side, but it really equates to actual numbers. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about that. And again, I will put it in the show notes, the link to the Harvard Business Review.
Okay, so credit where credit is due. Jackie is asking for hard numbers. She's asking for evidence, not just the abstract, it's the moral thing to do to discriminate your hiring practices and promotion practices and your recruitment practices on the basis of race or gender to try to address historical injustices or something. She's asking for hard numbers. I appreciate that because that's effectively what I was just asking for. So, given that question, where will Cheryl Deja give us any hard numbers, do you think? Should I put a poll in the chat? Do you think Cheryl will actually give us some hard numbers or an active example? I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Why not? Let's see. How do I do this? It's been a while since I've tried this. Start a poll. Okay. So, will Cheryl provide an active example to justify the activities of her organization. Oh my gosh, I typed that all out correctly. All right, so I'm starting a poll in the chat. I'll give it a couple minutes here, and I'll take in some of your guys' comments in the meantime. Scribe finally showing his true face. It's true. Yeah, I mean, according to the all-knowing, all-seeing Grok on X, this is me. This is me. So, yeah, face reveal, everybody. I had hoped to save it for a time where I was like doing a fundraiser or something, like I was trying to get to the a particular point in some kind of crazy fundraiser. Like if we reach $5,000 on this fundraiser, I'll do a face reveal. But no, too late. Too late. Grok has outed me. Totally outed me. Luke Skywalker 2. WTF is going on? I don't know. I don't know. It's a bizarre situation. Jamie Milquist, nice profile. I try quite a bit. Changing. I had debated about using this on Midnight's Edge this morning. I had an amazing adventure on Midnight's Edge this morning. If you guys did not see Midnight's Edge in the morning over on the Midnight's Edge channel, about an hour before the show started, I got a message from Andre at Midnight's Edge, and he was like, "Hey, Tom and I are going to be late at best for starting the show. Could you sort of stand in and start the show if I end up being late?" And it was just happenstance that I was looking at my Twitter at that time, because if it had been 5 minutes later, I would have been off in another room working on my work stuff, and I wouldn't have looked at Twitter again for another half hour, 45 minutes or something. And I was like, sure. And he was like, log in to the Midnight's Edge stream that I've already got set up. I was like, okay. And I just logged in like I was going to be a guest. I didn't understand that he was asking me to stand in as the runner of the show for a period of time before he and or Tom could show up. That took a minute for me to understand, like, oh, you're asking me to, okay. And so for the first few minutes of the stream, I ended up being the host on somebody else's channel for a big stream. There was like 380 viewers or something when we first started the stream. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm stand-in host now. And that was exciting. But anyway, it was a really good time. I had a good time on it. And yeah, so that was fun. Anyway, what's the poll saying right now? We've got, will Cheryl provide an active example to justify the activities of her organization? The yes votes have 20%. The no votes have 80%. I'm going to end the poll. I am in agreement. I will be very surprised and very happy if she gives us an active example. So, all right, let's see. Is it a yes or is it a no?
Okay, yeah. So I won't repeat then what's in the Harvard Business Review, but I will kind of share a few things with you.
I am dying to know. Please share with me an active example of a company whose fortunes improved provably by DEI.
So, firstly, inclusion is everyone. So, well, let's just put that out there.
Inclusion is everyone? I respectfully disagree with you.
And certainly, the misrepresentation of what DE&I stands for, it needs to be rectified, and hopefully in this new historical cultural moment that we are experiencing over the last 48 hours, our opportunity to take back the narrative is even stronger than it was, just 2 days ago. So
I don't know what she's referring to. She could be referring to the election. I don't know when this was originally posted. Let me check that real quick, because I could be, do I have it here? I don't have it here direct. Where is it? Yeah, I apologize. I want to make sure I have some kind of reference for what I'm looking at here. When was this originally posted? This was posted on, Come on now, you can do it for me. September 13th, 2024. I don't know if that's when it was recorded, but I'm trying to think what happened in the previous 48 hours from when this started. September. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what she's referring to.
So more on us from that, by the way. But from the business imperative side, we are actually now. So the Harvard Business Review obviously shows companies like Sephora and other companies who have been very intentional about their inclusion practices.
Okay, so Sephora has a demonstrable improvement in their bottom line or something on the basis of DEI?
In terms of the growth that they've experienced and, and the success that they've had in the marketplace as a result of that.
How so? Do you think she'll actually tell us how DEI explicitly and provably improved the fortunes of Sephora?
And then you can look at companies, I often say to brands so there's a few things that come our way. One is, we're so nervous that we're going to end up on the front page because we've done something wrong. And
you mean aside from implementing a system that discriminates on the basis of race or gender or orientation in hiring or promotion? Yeah, I guess that would be something to worry about.
What I often say to brands is, so IMAX, which is our product, literally shows that there are over 80 business practices in support of building an inclusive brand. I think there might be 8 of those practices or 12 of those practices that are about advocacy. So brands don't even have to go as far as advocacy. We've got like 72 practices that they can implement.
I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. We have 80 practices, 72 they can implement. To do what?
That are all focused on business impact, right?
Yes. Well, I would think they would all be focused on business impact since this is purportedly a trade group. And this is all aimed towards improving the business outcomes for your constituent clients. Okay.
So my point is there's no excuse not to do it.
What? No. No, wait. No. You can't reach a point until you've built the taper. You didn't even get to that. What are you talking about? How? Good gravy. I mean, she kind of halfway got to an example. How did Sephora's fortunes improve because of Bridge, because of DEI? How do they go from, revenue number X to revenue number Y in a straight line because of DEI? How?
And then the other piece of it is that we've just announced some research around the business impact of inclusion on purchase intent and
purchase intent. Okay. I am certain that there is somebody in the chat or somebody watching in the future who has far more knowledge about this kind of thing than I do when it comes to purchasing, when it comes to business and so on. I'm just an English major with layman's understanding of the world. So if you know what she's talking about, if you can make sense of what she's saying now and in the next few minutes, by all means, put a comment in the comments explaining it to me and anybody else watching this in the future, and I will pin it because I don't know what she means, and it all sounds like abstract BS so far without any details offered.
On engagement. And what was really interesting about that research is that, so there's a few things. One is there is a difference between diversity and inclusion.
You don't say. I mean, it's almost like they're two different words that mean two different things. Shocking.
Diversity without inclusion is not as impactful as inclusion without diversity. So that's one thing.
Uh-huh.
Diversity and inclusion is the most impactful, and you can actually see 3x increase in your purchase intent if you do diversity and inclusion.
3x in my purchasing intent if I do diversity and include. What does that even mean? What? Okay, again, if she's talking like insider baseball business lingo that I just don't understand, by all means, somebody explain it to me. A couple here. Alyssa Leo. Hi, Scribe. I managed to catch you at last. LOL. Hey, nice to see you, Alyssa. Living a long time. I've been noticing lately some names I haven't recalled reading out loud in quite a while. So nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Faye Alex. She is suspending her belief, hoping for reality and her fantasy to eventually meet up and do what she hopes for. That perhaps. Certainly. It's like, I really hope this thing that I've dedicated my life, my career, my reputation to actually fulfills itself so I don't look like an idiot or something by the end of it. But here, Alexander, why is Scribe Light black? Did he embrace his inner black man? No. The AI, again, for those of you joining late, the AI for Twitter, Grok, when I asked it to draw a picture of Scribelight, who operates the @scribe_light account on X, based on his avatar, this is what came out. And who am I to question the wisdom of AI in determining the nature of my reality? You know, I mean, if I tried to do an AI series on TEDx, I would be doing a stream for 3 years, because AI is part of every element of every aspect of our lives today. So I have submitted myself, for the sake of this particular stream, to the results of AI determining my reality. And this is what I look like according to Grok, according to the AI overmind. So again, who am I to argue? And when it comes to Bridge, it's probably better that I race swap for at least one stream.
And people think, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, is this a brand for me, right? Like, does this brand talk to me?
Does this brand talk to me? If a brand talks to me, I might need some serious psychological help.
So we are seeing some incredible research that now justifies the what we've all known.
We've now seen some incredible research which justifies what we've all... Define confirmation bias for me, will you? So far she's named Sephora, but not given us any numbers or any evidence. I'm still waiting for an actual active example where you can say, you know, on March 20th of 2018, we started our DEI program in this company, and by 2024, their fortunes have risen to this because of DEI. Thank you, Keldrig. You are no longer Scribelight. You are non-author dark. Oh, man. Oh, Keldrig. Oh, you made me laugh. Thank you. Now that is a lore cut right there. Actually, do I have my I do. Okay. There we go. That is the non-author dark avatar, if I were to do it legitimately. If you guys don't know, I have a secondary channel that I have not uploaded to in forever. I had it there for off-topic type things or just random stuff. It was originally started as a BDSM sort of informational channel after a fashion, but some other things have been posted there. Yeah, I haven't posted there in forever. So if you really want to see some old, slightly off-topic things, you can look up non-author dark. But at least for this stream, I'm gonna make sure I've got my race swap DEI avatar up. And thank you, Keeverdam. Top of the chat box, everybody. There's a link there provided by Keeverdam. Thank you, Keeverdam, den mother of the channel, for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society donation page. If you guys can take a look at that. If you're able to donate, please do so. But even if you're not, if you can, share that out on social media. That would be appreciated. So anyway, we have a limited time. I got to wait. At any moment, the timer is going to go off. My lunch is going to be ready. So let's keep it going.
Which is that inclusion has huge impact on purchase intent.
I don't know what purchase intent means in the context of this. What does that mean? And even if I didn't know what it meant, can you give us some numbers? Can you give us an active example, a success story, something?
And then the other thing that I'll throw out, which is not in the HBR article, but I think is relevant, is that, Fenty exists as $1 billion company.
Fenty, what? $1 billion company. Okay.
Because cosmetic companies didn't make cosmetics for Black women.
Cosmetic companies did not make cosmetics for Black women. Like, ever? I mean, admittedly, I am not a Black woman, even after my rehabilitation by Grok. I guess I would need to hear from someone who's more knowledgeable. In the course of makeup industry trends, they've never made makeup for Black women?
Period, end of story. So it's a cautionary tale. Tristan Walker, launched Bevel because he couldn't find a single blade quality razor when he was walking down the aisles because, companies, the trend had gone to 5 and 6 blade razors, and then he ended up selling his business for 50 million or so.
I'm lost. I don't know what she's talking about. Someone's going to have to either in the comments after this or elsewise educate me. What? In the, I don't know. How long has the makeup industry been going? They've never marketed to anyone other than non-Black women. Razor companies have never marketed to anyone other than non-Black men. Is that what she's talking about?
An undisclosed amount to P&G. So our message
Procter
really to brands is that it's a cautionary tale if you're not considering the business impact.
What? What do you?
What? What is that? What the fuck is that?
I honestly don't, sincerely, I don't know what she was referring to or what point she was trying to make. The makeup industry has never catered to Black women. Ever? Up until, I assume, recently because of Bridge. The razor industry didn't have the right blades for what?
Of inclusion.
Love that so much because it does equate, but then it also helps tell the narrative of what's going on and the impact. Like there is, and that's what makes it's important, but also to let people know the broader picture of what's really happening.
What's really happening?
When I moved to Texas from Oregon, and when people ask, why did I move to Waco?
I assume you're not a Branch Davidian.
When I'm being silly, I'm like, because they don't have hush puppies in Lake Oswego. And I remember, if you've moved or you've lived in different places, when you're trying to identify, you miss your home, you want to make food from your home. And I just wanted catfish and hush puppies. I live in Texas. Like you can get catfish at any lake, at any golf course in Texas. Like, I don't know why this is an issue. They did.
I have absolutely no idea what she's talking about now. Of course, I don't know what the catfish population in Oregon is, so what?
And it made me feel instantly like I didn't belong here. And
What?
I moved 1,200 miles away.
that was your choice, so I guess it's a pain self-chosen.
Back to Texas, and there is a Catfish King right up the street.
What? What do your dietary habits have to do with supplementing her statements about inclusion in the corporate world? What?
So, those kind of things have major impact on the overall economy, but
What?
how you feel about the brand. And once you have those experiences and you can free those up where people don't have that as a distraction.
What? I'm sorry. Something about this response to their guests, I don't know, litany of accomplishments just hits my funny bone. What are you going on about?
They can also do their best work and share within the organization as well.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, listen, there's $5 trillion in buying power
There's $5 trillion in buying power.
between Hispanic Americans, Black Americans, Indigenous Americans, and Asian Americans.
If you say so. So white people are not worth considering in your marketing plan? Okay.
So it's really up to you as a company if you want to tap into that buying power or you don't. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Okay. Well, how exactly do I tap into the Black American, Hispanic American, Native American, Asian American markets all at once? What is that panacea for my marketing woes where somehow I'm only marketing to white people? How does that work?
I was actually on a panel. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Cannes, the Cannes Lions Festival of Creativity in June.
The Cannes Alliance of Creativity. Is that like the movie Cannes kind of thing? Black Romeo, Scribe Light. So because she moved to a place that didn't serve the foods she was used to, she didn't feel welcome. So she's basically insulting old cultures who don't serve catfish, I guess. Yeah, she was specifically being targeted by the gastrological availability of her preferred foods. The location she was living in was oppressing her by their limited menu. I guess. I don't know.
And I happened to be on a panel with somebody from P&G.
Ooh, Procter and Gamble?
And he and I were talking, and he disclosed, so I'm not disclosing anything because he said it publicly.
Oh, okay. So this is not secret information. Okay.
But he disclosed that P&G has analyzed that if they implement more inclusive marketing strategies, that it's a $500 million revenue increase in year one.
Oh my, $500 million. If they just implement inclusion policies, they get a $500 million increase. Wow. So they've done that, right? I mean, if it was just as simple as a light switch in policy to increase your bottom line by $500 million, well, then you have some evidence of that, right? I mean, if it was that simple. Mess says, isn't it gastronomical? It probably is. I may be stumbling over my vocabulary right now. I don't know. I blame inclusion for messing up my brain. So really, so Procter and Gamble could increase their bottom line by $500 million with just an inclusion policy. So they've done that, right? I mean, they've had years to do it.
Just in the first year.
It just in the first year, right? 1 year's time, $500 million increased. Really?
So that's $1 billion in the second year, right?
Oh my God, it's $1 billion the second year. Oh my gosh. Well, if it's that simple, they've done it already, right? I mean, it's not like diversity and inclusion just showed up yesterday. It's been around for at least 8 years, because I've been doing my YouTube channel for 8 years. And I was doing videos on D&I since almost the beginning. So they've done it, right? Uh-oh, the alarm's going off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my lunch is about done. I have to go get that. One moment, everybody. Apologies. As soon as I find the overlay here. I'll be back in a moment. Apologies for the interlude, but my Hungry Man TV dinner is now ready, but it's cooling slightly. So I'll give it another couple of minutes here. We'll see if our speaker has anything exciting to say otherwise. Wait a second. Happy birthday. Who's having a happy birthday? Wait a second. What did I see here? Evolved Potato. I just got called honey getting a hot chocolate. Best birthday ever. Evolved Potato, is it your birthday? And also hot chocolate. Best way to celebrate birthday, if ever I heard one. And so Evolved Potato. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear potato. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Evolved Potato. Hope you had a good one. Let's see. Joseph Wilson. Companies that push this nonsense claim they make a profit when they can operate at a loss and still keep functioning. That profit is probably what they paid to shareholders to not get sued. Yeah, the proof of the benefits financially to companies of DEI to this point have never been shown to me. I've been told it increases innovation, it increases efficiency, it increases profitability, and so on. Told many times. To this point, I personally have never had it shown to me directly. And I've asked for it, demanded it from these things over and over again. Like, show me a success story. Show me a company where, again, on this date, their revenues, their profits were X. Then they implemented their DEI policy, and then 3 years later, whatever, they can draw a straight line from, wow, because we did this, provably our profits increased, our efficiency increased, our innovation increased, something. But they always fall back on the McKinsey studies, or just sort of like abstractly saying that companies have seen such great growth, or said, never any numbers, never anything, never any raw evidence. Anyway, I'll give this another couple of minutes, see if she says anything interesting. I've only gotten through approximately 12 minutes of a 50 minute conversation. So if there's something hinting at more to come, then maybe we'll do this as a part 2 at some point. But I do have food ready and I'm hungry, so we'll give it another couple minutes.
Right. It's just, you know, there are simple things that companies can do to tap into those historically unrecognized communities.
Oh, simple things. Tell me the simple things.
But you have to do it authentically, right?
Authentically, right? We can't do it falsely. We have to do it authentically. What does that mean?
Like that's the other piece of it is, I think we've gone down a path of, you know, heritage months, which allow companies, and they certainly have a benefit, but we have to be careful that it's not performative, and that you're authentically understanding your marketplace, authentically developing products for that marketplace.
It's all performative. What are you talking about? It's not performative. Of course it's performative. It has a very cynical end goal to increase profits. You just told the entire impetus for this is to improve the outcome of business results, right? That means profits, efficiency, innovation, marketability, and so on. Of course it's performative. Companies are not individual people with morals. They have only one goal: increase the profits for the shareholders and or the owners. It can't be performative. Well, what if it is? How can you tell the difference? What is the difference between a performative DEI Heritage Month and an authentic DEI Heritage Month? How do you split that hair? I would love to know.
And then showing up in an authentic way. It's not difficult, but it needs to be done well.
If it's not difficult, then tell us the simple rules for dating my DEI daughter or something.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to put you on the spot, and if
Yeah,
you don't
please.
know the answer.
You should put her on the spot. She's your guest. You're interviewing her. And she's got nowhere else to go, so she is on the spot. What are you talking about?
Sir.
Yeah.
But what you're saying, also, in the past week, we saw feedback from John Deere and like Tractor Supply.
Oh! Is that what they're referring to in the last 48 hours or whatever earlier? So many companies basically distancing themselves or divesting themselves of DEI. Oh, okay. How does she answer this?
And I have thoughts around it. I remember early in my practice, I laughed and said, there are some organizations when I first started the industry where I would be like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to implement any DEI. There's some other work that has to be done here first. But you see situations like that. Do you think they too benefit from inclusion, or what do you say to people, organizations like those?
Organizations that have assessed whether or not their DEI programs have actually paid off over time, that they've actually got a return on investment. Yeah. What do you say to companies who have never seen the proof in the proverbial pudding of this entire debacle?
Yeah. Oh, well.
I know.
Oh, well, what do I do? What do I say about companies who've seen through the lies?
Yeah, let's all take a heavy sigh real quick, you know?
So I will tell you, you know,
No, I don't know. You need to tell me.
I was talking to somebody this morning, and she and I have both now started to get phone calls from companies that want to backtrack on their backtracking.
Oh. Uh-huh.
So let's just put that out there, right? And I think, you know, again, it's like listen, we cannot cave to political pressure.
No, it's not about political pressure. If John Deere, right, or tractor company or whatever, if there was a demonstrable, provable, golden goose effect to DEI, to their bottom line in their business, they wouldn't divest themselves of it. It would make no sense to do so. I mean, short of some kind of legal thing coming their way that, I don't know, had something to do with Title VII, if there was proof that implementing DEI led to instantaneous profits, $500 million more per year in the first year, like with Procter & Gamble, they would never let it go. And they'd never divest themselves of it. They'd never publicly denounce it or say they were detaching themselves from it. They never would. So you're the one that has to make the case. You run Bridge. Bridge's only purpose is to convince companies that DEI is a valuable element of their makeup. Where is your proof? If it was true, why are these companies running away from it?
When we know that, we have an opportunity to do the right thing for our businesses, right? I mean, that's just and that's really the most important thing. And so it's for me, very short-sighted what Tractor Supply did.
Why? Why is it short-sighted? What do you know would have happened if they hadn't done that?
And what John Deere has done, because the makeup in this country, the racial diversity in this country is inevitable. It does not matter if a presidential nominee or a governor or the Heritage Foundation, with Project 2025 wants to change what our country looks like.
What does what our country look like? What does any of that have to do with merit or earning a place in a business at all? You have to show that what you do and what you promote has a tangible, provable value. The onus is on you. You can make all the moral arguments you want or imply as much as you want, but when it comes to business, it comes down to brass tacks. How do you show the return on investment for DEI?
At the end of the day, there is an inevitability to what the country is going to be.
What do you... So we have to populate our workplaces with people on the basis of the demographics of the future? I don't know how else to interpret that.
Right. And so let's just, if you're a business, and I feel like seasoned executives understand that, if you're a business, you have to embrace the country that you're in and what the reality is.
What does that mean to you? I know it means to you simply demographic split and the appearance of an individual and not their personal merit or experience. But I'd love to have her articulate it as to what she means.
I don't care if you believe in the moral imperative. Obviously, I would like for that to be the case.
Well, then, if I don't have to believe in the moral imperative, then you have to make an argument that's much more tangible. And so...
But at the end of the day, there is a business imperative to inclusion.
And your evidence for this is what?
And so it's very short-sighted to, make these far-reaching statements, because listen, at the end of the day, and I'm going to predict this here and now, Tractor Supply and John Deere are going to have to backtrack, because fundamentally they have consumers that reflect a different makeup than the consumers that they're reacting to.
a different makeup. That's kind of funny thinking back to the Sephora quote unquote example from earlier. Right. So John Deere, as a result of them divesting themselves from DEI practices, will lose all non-white consumers. No one who isn't white will ever buy from John Deere again. How else am I to interpret that statement? Right? So let's just wait and see, guys. She predicts that John Deere is going to be losing market share and losing consumer base because no one who isn't white will want to do business with them ever again. But she uses some very cagey language to describe that inevitability. Okay. I mean, this is coming from the CEO and founder of Bridge. This is how she analyzes the situation.
Right?
Why are you asking them? You're the expert. You just said you made a prediction, and yet you have to get affirmation from your hosts because, right. Yeah, because you're so certain of the outcome for John Deere, you have to ask. Right. Yeah.
And it's all, kind of back to your point, Jackie, the misrepresentation around DE&I, right? I mean, there is, if you really understand what DE&I means.
If I understand what DE&I really means, at this point, I think I do, but you tell me.
You would know that it includes absolutely everyone. And
if it included absolutely everyone, the only letter in your litany would be E. And it wouldn't stand for equity. It would stand for egalitarianism. But it's not, which means you don't. And I know for a fact that it doesn't. But anyway, we're at 15:55 on the podcast, and I'm going to wrap things up here because I'm hungry and I have food. And I'm going to eat it. Now, I'll take a minute here for anything else that you guys want to say, if I can fit it in here. Matt, pretty sure they want to keep the country as it is, replacements for the other side. They keep talking about that. This country is changing, and companies have to change along with it. At the end of the day, either products are good or they're not. You're hiring people on the basis of what they can do or what they look like. One of those ideas is going to increase the overall quality of your product and the prospects of your business. The other one is going to be putting on a show for a bunch of virtue signalers and not actually do much for your business. They can decide which one they want to go for, ultimately. Tier Alexander. So are all the POC going to send John Deere a Dear John? Okay. Sure. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's Bridget. Oh no, Project 2025 must be true. Obviously, it must be true. It's true. It'll be implemented. We're all going to fall apart. No. Faye Alex, I think that like the Me Too movement, you have stolen and bastardized what you pretend to hold reverence to. It's hard to say. It's hard to read the mind of someone who, when posed a direct question, can't give a straight answer or an active example. I've said this countless times before. I have worked in a company since 2007, and generally speaking, the same kind of area. I don't work in sales. I don't work in technical development or anything else. But if I were cornered in an elevator and somebody asked me to pitch my company's product to them, at this point, simply through osmosis, I could make an effective pitch and give examples and try to sell the idea of my company and its product. When asked fairly straightforward questions by our interviewers here, who I have to at least credit, they asked some pretty decent questions, some reasonable questions. The CEO and founder of an organization whose explicit existence is there to market DEI to the masses and has a client list a mile long of major names, can't offer us up a single active example with evidence and numbers showing that anything that she's promoting actually does what she promises it will do. So I don't know what else to say about it. But then Bridge to this point hasn't really impressed me all that much. But this is the most recent, as of September, interview with the CEO and founder of Bridge. So I'm going to end things here. If you are curious or interested or want to see more of this particular podcast, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know on Discord. Did you know I have a Discord server? Well, I'll tell you. I have a Discord server. Did I prepare a link before I started the stream? No. But do I have a link right now? Yes, I do. It's in the chat for those of you on YouTube. You can click on that, find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you're not a bot. Have actually watched the stream and have thus earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. Today's secret word is Bridge. Just say hello, Bridge. Make sure you put it in all capital letters. That'll tell me even better that you've watched the stream. And then you can join the Discord server. And I'll take your input on there as well as on the comments on YouTube. And if you happen to see this on Twitter, if you respond to the Twitter stream with your comments or thoughts, I will look at those as well. Beyond that, tomorrow, Thursday, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, will be TED Excellence, where I will take a look at what is purported to be a beginner's guide for the new revolution. What is the new revolution? Well, it's the revolution where we get rid of capitalism and colonialism and the gender binary or something. I don't know. But we're going to learn how to participate in the oncoming new revolution. That's tomorrow on this channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, on Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern is the Sunday stream, where I'll go over various news stories of the week that I found interesting. But until then, everyone, I want to thank you for joining me on this ambush stream on a Wednesday afternoon. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or to the link at the top of the chat box to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, thank you guys so much for your generosity. Very much appreciated. Outside of that, I hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday, hump day as it is. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.